Alright, welcome back. It's 14 and 15, 14 full. How long the supplies of non-renewable resources last? Let's find out, shall we? We're South Africa, the largest exporter of gold and platinum. That's lovely. It's in South Africa. US, Germany and Russia, 8% of the world's population, and we consume 75% of the world's minerals. That's crazy. It's not balanced. It just doesn't make any sense to me. US's four most important minerals for economic and military strength are all imported. Those like play out well for us, you know what I mean? If we rely on these other countries for our military strength, I don't think it's good. You know, we've got manganese that we need to import, cobalt, chromium and platinum. It's crazy. In the United States, 50% of the 24 most important non-renewable minerals are imported. We don't even have them here. Right? It's crazy. Right? These things are unevenly distributed. It's like, you know, maybe the wealth of the world even, you know? So economic depletion, we already described this term before, but this occurs when the cost to extract and process is more than the market value for the material. Alright? Depletion time is the time it takes to use up 80% of a mineral. 80%. So the future is looking to nanotechnology to replace the minerals that we can no longer use. Alright? And nanotechnology is crazy. Right? Where they can actually build things from like atom by atom and put it together. You know what I mean? So they're talking about using nanotechnology to build these little tiny robots actually that they can put into a shop and then they give it to you. Right? And these little robots, they flow around through your bloodstream, right? And when they find a little clot, maybe in your little heart up here, what they're going to do is got these little arms and it goes up to this clot and it starts to break the clot apart, you know what I mean? So you don't have yourself a heart attack. You know, and maybe you've got a blood clot up in your brain somewhere and you're going to have an aneurysm, which will be terrible. Right? Well, it stops there and it picks it apart so you don't have to have an aneurysm because nobody wants that, you know what I mean? So nanotechnology is amazing, but it's still far off in the future. Right? But in laboratories, we've been able to produce lab-made diamonds and rubies. So there's reason to believe that maybe one day in these same settings we can produce our own platinum. So maybe the United States doesn't have to import it anymore because that's bad. You know what I mean? So market prices affect supplies, of course. Increased prices are going to lead to new exploration. Think about when gas hit $4 a gallon, you know, all of a sudden people stopped driving so much. And that, you know, took some of the pressure off of the supply. But it also pushed people to start looking for oil in new places and other types of fossil fuels, like natural gas. Creates new technology. You don't do anything unless you have a need for it, you know what I mean? And then it creates more efficient use. Think about the legislation that was put into place to make cars more efficient because of this. Right? There was a fuel crisis that your parents remember back in the 70s. You probably learned about it in school, right? Prior to this gas crisis, cars were getting like 12 miles per gallon was the norm. But after this, it increased quickly to 16, 18 miles per gallon. But it's been stagnated there for years, for decades even. Government subsidies keep mineral prices to consumers artificially low. We don't pay the real value of it, especially when you factor in the environmental damage. We're not paying for that, right? We don't pay for that. It's the people who live in those areas that are paying for it, you know, with their lives, with their, what's the word I'm looking for here? With their quality of life. They're paying for it, you know what I mean? Removal of subsidies would lead to more efficient use and greater recycling. If we have this notion that everything is limitless, then we're not going to recycle it, treat it properly, you know what I mean? But if we're paying the real value for it, and we're going to take care of it, think how much better you take care of something once you pay for it yourself. Much better. Oh yeah. And recycling produces 95% less pollution than mining. Remember what I talked about at the beginning. Think back to the stages of metal production, the metal cycle, right? If we can remove 3 of those steps, we're going to save a lot of energy in processing and pollution. I'm getting a call right now as I speak to you, but I'm going to ignore it because you're more important. Can we mine lower grade ores? Of course we can. When our technology gets better, we sure can. New technology makes low grade ore deposits feasible. In 1990, we would not go after copper ore unless it contained 5% copper. But now with greater technology, we can go after ore that's 0.5% copper. That's great. Leads to greater water use, however, greater land and dirt consumption, greater pollution. Yeah, well, because think, if we've got to get ore that's only 0.5% copper, it's going to take a lot more of it, to get to a substantial quantity that's usable by industry and peoples. Peoples like myself. Biomining, this is kind of cool. Bacteria removes the desired mineral while leaving the surrounding environment undisturbed, right? That's great. However, bacteria are teeny tiny. They don't have great appetites, right? So it's going to take them a long, long time to extract the minerals. But if we can have the foresight to see where things are going in the future, we could go ahead and give them a head start to start, eating up these minerals that we need to then extract them from these bacteria. That's great. And I thought we were done, but we're not done. Minerals from the ocean. Typically speaking, in the water itself, the minerals are too diluted. You can't extract it from it, you know what I mean? But we've got these things at the bottom, these hydrothermal vents, and they spew out minerals from deep within the earth, just spewing out, right? And as soon as it comes out, very hot, very, very hot, right? That's why they've got, the word thermal in there. It's very hot. It comes out, it hits the cool ocean water, right? And it cools down. And all along these vents, you've got these orbs of minerals that people are looking into, claiming there's going to be a war and a fight over these vents, by the way. They can pick them up and they can get the minerals out of them, right? So there is some minerals there. And again, these are those 2 islands from Dubai that I was talking about, the Palm Islands in the world. All right. The negative impact, by the way, of dredging the coastline sucks. I don't think I need to go into any further detail right there. But if you put that into, an FRQ, it's not going to be good if you just say sucks. That doesn't work. Okay? That's lovely. Alright, and finally we're done. It was very hard for me to keep this accent the whole time because I'm not that good at it.